just came to play for the money. On 7 good ponies and some damn good swing. So get your team together, get fired up. So I can have a chop at you at the Inverell Swan Cup.
Righto, hi everyone, welcome to the 10th Swan Cup video podcast. My name's Alex Wrobel from the Inverell Polocrosse Club, and we're going to endeavour to complete a podcast every week in the lead up to the 2021 Inverell Swan Cup. I'm the president of the Inverell Polocrosse Club, and we're going to use this podcast to provide you with information about the Swan Cup and meet the people behind the scenes who will help us to make our event a success. The Swan Cup will run from the 8th to the 11th of July 2021, and our open men's polocrosse and sail nominations open on the 19th of April and close on the 10th of May 2021. Here with our club member and leader of our Swan Cup, Cameron Neville. How you going, Cameron?
I'm great, mate.
Our special guest this week is Jim Girls from the Albury Holbrook Polocrosse Club. Thanks for joining us, Jim. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Right, I'm going to talk for a little bit here just before we get started, but I was just sitting back thinking about how I was going to get us started tonight. And my first memory of watching you play polocrosse goes all the way back to 2006 at the Nationals in Sydney. And I believe you were playing in the New South Wales subbies team. I was at the end of the field, goal waving at the New South Wales end of the field, and you came down the field and into the area, and you ended up in what would have been a bad position for most people on the polocrosse field, let alone an 11 or 12-year-old, whatever you were at the time. And you threw the goal from where you were, and the ball came through the post, and dead set I was standing on an angle, and it skimmed the edge of the first post and then skimmed the edge of the second post on the way through. And I just want to know, do you remember that match at all, or is it something that is only stuck in my mind and not yours?
No, I definitely remember that match. Obviously, because played against Davo and we play a fair bit together now, so that's one of the memories. But I do actually remember having a shot at that. I don't actually remember watching it go through, but there's actually a photo of where it's left me racket as a young fella. That's been on the wall for a fair while at the old house. So yeah, I do remember that game.
Yeah, it's just something that stuck in my mind for a very long time, and I just thought, oh, this is not good. This is not good. Oh shit, he's going to throw it. There he goes. Oh no, made it. Came through. So Albury Holbrook Club has made a name for itself as one of the clubs to beat, you know, going around at club champs and all those things. What do you believe is the key to your club's success?
Yeah, we obviously had a few successful the last few years with obviously a lot of good players. We've obviously a few have moved on now, and then obviously Abbott moving home. We might be a little bit weaker for a little while, but I think just with our club, because we're obviously fair few of us, obviously with our crew, we're so close and open and honest with how we want to play the game and how we want to link up and all that sort of stuff. And got a lot of young people here at the moment. Marty O'Sullivan, Gemma Stewart, Jackie Minard, and then obviously Katie and Lucy obviously get to practice together a lot, and just bringing like young blokes on like Marty and understand how we want to play. So we're sort of a unit, not just a bunch of individuals when we're going out there to play. And obviously that's obviously how me and Dave have tried to work our polocrosse the last sort of 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. From the beginning of the dream, I suppose, of creating the Swan Cup, I know that Cameron made some pretty early contact with your family, probably more through your mum, I suppose, than anything, to discuss different aspects of the Swan Cup. What were your first thoughts when you had conversations, you know, with your family and those things about the Swan Cup?
Yeah, 100%. We obviously Sarah told us about it, and then Charlie was obviously a little bit to do with some of the rules and stuff, being the chief umpire, and then we were just straight on to get a team together and come and support it, because we obviously all these events we need to try and support and keep growing polocrosse. And if it's a little bit of the same old thing, if you go and support there, people will come and support you when you're trying to run your sort of shows.
Yeah, well, that was a big thing, Jimmy, when first got going. I can remember talking to Sarah quite a bit. And I can even remember when going to a meeting in Dubbo, a board meeting there for the New South Wales board, and and sussing things out and how we were trying to get it through back when Arch was president, and trying to get it off the ground. And they were very strong and in what they thought how we should do it, and really backed me up. And I was really happy that someone with the power that they got in the sport and the success that they've had in running their own sales, and obviously you and Lucy being so successful as players yourselves. I'm just interested in, mate, is that with your own horses and your own incentive sale this year, what was the feedback you got out of that?
I think, well, with not much Polocrosse going on the year before, everyone left the sale with such a buzz, and obviously being able to buy a horse and then come back and have a crack at playing an incentive, and it gave a lot of people from all grades a good ticket to get into a competition and have a crack at, well, it's not even all about winning the money back, but it's going and showcase the horse they brought and getting to compete against some of the best that have obviously gone and supported you. And yeah, obviously that's similar system that you guys will be producing up there.
And with that, mate, were you surprised on the number of horses that come back? Like, I don't know the numbers, like a lot of horses that you would have sold over the years. And do you think that your next one you'll have, maybe a few more teams? Yeah,
I think it will grow. We're a little bit worried about obviously the time of year, because it's a bit of a pain in the ass for a few people to get their horses in over Christmas. But yeah, we think it will grow. I think there was a lot of awareness that we probably didn't have out on the sort of maybe the individual camp draft side of things. So obviously a lot came and then went, oh, well, I have a horse eligible. So that's probably something we're going to try and work on, is making sure all those people knew and that are eligible to have a crack at coming back.
And do you think the Swan Cup, mate, is a rival to what you're doing down there? Do you think we're sort of working against each other, or do you actually think we're better off supporting each other the way things are working out?
Nah, 100%. Got it. And that's the same with all these sort of things we're trying to get going, is we've got to support each other. So then stuff rolls on, like we'll come and support you, and then hopefully your guys will be able to get down and support us. Obviously, I knew your boys were coming and it fell through late, but obviously, you've got to work together. It's a small sport, so we need everyone helping each other out.
Yeah. And with that, just a quick question on coming back, like us having our first sale this year, and hopefully, you might bring up some horses or have some P&B horses coming. Do you think that gives them an opportunity to play in our incentive and your incentive?
Yeah, 100%. So they'll be eligible for obviously yours, because they'll be sold through the sale, and then it gives sort of people two cracks at both incentive, because if they've got the P&B on the shoulder, obviously everyone's welcome to come to ours if they've got that brand on their shoulder.
Yeah, no, I think it's well, from our point of view, mate, we really appreciate the support that we've got off you so far, and we really only hope that we can support your business as far as the Berrigoon stud goes. We don't want you to come up here and win the money all the time, but we'd like you to come up every now and then, and we'd like to come and have a crack at your money.
Yeah, that's it. We'll come and try and win it, but there's about probably 8 or 12 other teams that don't want us to do that.
Yeah,
definitely.
What were your thoughts on the points cap?
Yeah, I think everyone puts the rules out, and you just got to adhere to it. Obviously, with me and Abbott obviously being pretty heavy pointed now, we're going to have to pull our weight, because that obviously means you need to have a few lower pointed players in there. But I guess that's a part of the whole thing, is you got 7 players and you got a points cap. So a lot of tactics come into it with how you're going to run your teams and how you're going to work your 5.5s and stuff like that to try and make them play like 7s, I guess.
And mate, have you approached some of them lower players and said to them, look, we want you to come and commit with us, and you would have someone, pretty excited to play with yourself and Abbott? Yeah,
we've got Morgan Webb's coming to play with us, so he's been chomping. he's been chomping at the bit. So he's been down to Ballarat with us and then play with us on the weekend. He'll have another couple of calves with us leading into it. So yeah, he's going well. And then Adam Grills is our other one, so he's going to have a crack with us as well. And yeah, they're both pumped, and we're pumped to have him. And then we're still just finalising our last one, so we'll work that out.
And mate, the time of the year, it being July, like it can get pretty cool for us up here that time of year. But it sort of suits the Queenslanders. Does that affect you coming from, as far south as what you do? Like your season starts a bit earlier?
Yeah, not too much, because we've got zones and clubs and all that stuff around that time of year. So we sort of take them up for these bigger ones early and then let them down and then sort of bring them up again for those bigger ones late. But yeah, I think the Swan Cup's during my birthday week, so it'd be a good little present if we can get the job done.
Celebrate either way.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So my next thing, like Berrigoon has obviously cemented itself as one of the premium studs for producing polocrosse horses in Australia, and through the World Cup in 2019 showcased that with so many horses there participating. What do you think makes a great polocrosse horse? Like, what do you look for when you're like, oh, this is what I want to ride, this is what I want to do? What are you looking for?
Yeah, it's funny. Like you got to adapt from juniors to intermediate to men's. Like I've obviously had Laney as my junior horse, and she was an unbelievable horse in that grade, and then obviously got onto Lipstick through the intermediates and then sort of into the seniors. And she's probably the style of horse I love to play the most. And I've got about 5 or 6 of her daughters that are just a spitting image of her. And I'm going to bring one out this year, so we'll have a look at her. But yeah, so it's probably just the touch and feel of the Lipsticks, that they've got a good check, good right hand, left hand turn. But obviously my good mare Scarlet, I love the pace. So realistically, in this day and age, with the game getting faster and ball moving quicker, you want to be able to put goals in the bank as quick as you can without having to do too many turns and stops. If you can get a break half a stride and no one's catching you. So you obviously need a quick horse, but obviously I love a fair bit of handle to be able to do whatever you want when you got the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
And was that something, mate, that you took into the World Cup? Like, South Africa haven't had the title, and the way they played, like, I had 15 years or so out of the sport, and I come back and I just couldn't believe how much you threw the ball and how far you threw it and how correct you were doing it. Like, is that something that you were trying to do before you got to the World Cup, or you're just like, right, Abbott and Lance, this is Will West, and this is just what we've got to do?
Yeah, definitely. We probably started to slowly do it leading into 2015, but we weren't all on the same page. It's similar to what I was talking about with that club polocrosse. But coming into this World Cup, we had 4 in the boys' side of things. The girls, obviously, they were obviously exactly the same. But in the boys' side of things, we talked about the game so much and how we wanted to play and who was where, and really got to know each other like the back of our hands. And then we knew we had to be able to move the ball if we had to, but we knew we had to be able to play our style as well. So it was just really finding the common ground between each other to be able to play the ball movement game and then break it back if we had the horsepower to break it back and play our way as well. So it was just really, finding the happy medium. But all those blokes were just on the same page. So, it was a good environment, and yeah.
And is that, like, I know, mate, our club are changing the way that we play just so we can try and keep up and, be competitive in the A grades and, hopefully going forward the zones and then the club championships and things like that. Do you just think that that's just the trajectory that the sport is going and how it gets played now, that if you want to play at that elite level, that's where you have to be?
Yeah, I reckon if you want to be at the elite level, you've got to put all these strings in your bows. Like, obviously there's different styles that different people want to play, but if you really want to be the elite of the elite, you've got to have everything in your power to be doing everything. So you come up against a bloke that wants to carry the ball, you've got to be good enough to handle that. Or if you're coming out against a side that wants to throw the ball around, you've got to know how to combat all those different strategies, because you look at all the different styles around Australia, there's a fair few different ones. So we're in a pretty good position to be able to adapt our games. And then obviously the next level up, we know how they all play now. So we want to keep developing our game here and then being able to obviously perform when we hit those other better ball moving sides overseas.
Well, I've been thinking about it with the team that I'm in for the Swan Cup, and I haven't met 3 or 4 of them. Wouldn't know them to walk past. Let alone we're going to go out and have a game on the field, and I don't know if they carry the ball or they want to pass it or do whatever, you know. So like I think a lot of that'll come into it. You know, the fellas who play together a lot, you know, obviously had a big advantage to some fellas who are coming together from all over just because the points suit them.
If you get it, Nev, they'll probably be calling for it, mate.
What did he say?
I said, if you get it, they'll probably be calling for it.
Just, I won't get on.
Sorry, Jim, what were you going to say, mate?
What were we talking? Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I guess if you play together all the time, it's just another big thing about playing polocrosse, being comfortable with who you're with. So yeah, if you spend a couple of games in that sort of competition, working out what everyone does, it's obviously not the best thing, but obviously it doesn't matter what happens on the day. It could fall your way and you can get the job done.
Well, that's what Hayden, when we did the podcast with Hayden, like he was big on, you know, the best players that he's played with and been around are just these fellas he plays with day to day. You know, he knows how they play, where they go and how they handle it, you know, so it just comes down to the advantages that each team can find, I suppose, that'll try and get them over the line.
Yeah, definitely.
So just quickly, Jim, too, you know, Cameron and I, we sat near each other at the final of the World Cup in 2019, and I'd like just explain to us, we were in the stands and the atmosphere was incredible. Just explain to us what it was like being on the field in that moment with such a huge crowd, and that, you know, the feeling that it sort of went through to in that situation.
Yeah, it was. You obviously don't get that crowd much in polocrosse. Obviously, I played in a few big crowds of footy, but the strange thing about it was when you're generally playing those front of those big crowds, it's always 50-50. But when you were out there, it was 90-10%, or probably 99-1% the others, and they were all cheering for us, which was a proper good feeling. I remember we I think we played the first game against Zimbabwe, and we'd walked out to play America the second day, and we were walking, and we'd sort of made our way to the back of the goalpost because we were at the other end of the field. And then we're like, oh no, we have to go the other end. And a few of us pulled up and said, no, let's go straight down the middle. Anyway, we rode straight down the middle, and the whole crowd just went nuts the whole way we went down there. So it still makes hairs stand up on the back of your neck. But yeah, you could obviously feel the home presence. And thanks for the whole crowd from Australia to get us over the line.
And what about before the game, mate? Like, she's a long day. The same with footy, you know, when you're playing a big game and you're late in the afternoon and everyone's sort of there to watch the main game. How'd you feel the timing? Did you have the bandages on at 9 o'clock, or did you, you know, how'd you fill it in?
It was actually, it was a bit of a funny one because Katie, my girlfriend, she played, she had the women's final at 8 o'clock. So I had to go down and strap for her at 8 o'clock. So went down, did that. And then Abba had Carly playing too. So we both got out of bed and went down. And then I went and let our horses out, and and then Peaches was a bit scratchy, so we were a bit worried about that. And then Vern saw her, and we put a new shoe on. She was good to go. So there was a bit of chaos that morning, but then obviously, no, I didn't go too close to her. I'm a bit superstitious, so Sarah put me bandages on the start of the week. So I showed up at her about, I think the finals at 2:30 or something. I showed up at the yards at about 2 o'clock, and then just passed the ball around, and then got on the way we went. But the crowd, once you got out there, you know, you put four years work into 48 minutes worth of play, and if something doesn't go your way, you've spent a lot of time trying to get this thing right for bloody 48 minutes not to go your way. So yeah, you can feel the pressure, but obviously the girls got us off to a good start and away we went.
Oh, for sure. And mate, we still talk about it too. Like, I don't know if it was a fluke or if he's just that good, but how Abbott threw that goal and fell off at the same time, and then gets up off the ground like nothing happened. Like, how'd you read it?
Yeah, well, he was sliding into my feet, so I was trying to catch him more than anything. But no, it was good. It was one of the moments of the World Cup. It was pretty. It was awesome. It just sort of made the day. He was obviously a bit upset because he got a bit of a head knock and then he couldn't come out for the last chucker.
Yeah. It was. I was without doubt the best sporting event that I've been to. I've been to Origin. I've been to some good AFL games. I've been to rugby games and Bledisloes and different things. But I like, from a horse person's point of view, I just thought it was just something else, something off that I hope we see again.
Yeah, no, definitely. They run a proper good show up there, Warwick and Les, and yeah, no, it was good to be a part of.
I think one of the things that makes it amazing too is, there's not many other sports in the world where you sit 3 meters from the sideline. Like, you can be 3 meters from the sideline, horses galloping along. There's not many other sports you can do that. Yeah,
that's right. And yeah, I know the Warwick sidelines, they love to have you right on top of the game. So no, it's definitely good. It was awesome.
And mate, back to our show. Like, have you thought of any horses that you and your team might be bringing up to our sale? Yeah,
we've got a few young boys here that are bringing a couple up, and then we've got one where it's one of our 2-year-olds. So I think Sarah's picking it out, and then obviously one of us will ride that through. But yeah, I think we've got a couple from Marty and Sam. So Marty O'Sullivan, Sam Sargood, and then we've got one of ours as well. So yeah, there's a couple picked out to come up.
Yeah, and they're all P&B horses.
Our one definitely will be, and then I'm unsure about the other 2 boys. I haven't seen them yet, but there's definitely going to be one in there.
And is there much talk down in the south, like even into Victoria, of the Swan Cup? Like, has anyone come to you and sort of said, like, are you going, and what are your thoughts, and putting a team together, or should I send this horse, or how should I sell my horse, or different things? Have you come across any of that?
Yeah, well, a lot of a lot of the boys down here, they're either, a couple of them obviously, Abbott and Davo and all them are in our side, and then I know Kieran's in your team, and then Wilbur's up with the Crindai boys, and then so there's a lot of boys getting about in teams. So that's sort of where I've left it with them. But I know, like, talking to Davo, and he talks to Johnson a lot. There's a fair few boys getting a few horses together to come.
And with your sale, mate, how many horses did you sell this year at Barragoon?
I think we sold 65, 75, around there.
Yeah. And you had a pre-works?
Yeah, so our pre-works. So we played Saturday afternoon, all the first 2 games, and then first 4 games, I think, something like that. And then we went into pre-works Friday night, and then obviously come back and had all the full day of incentives. So it was round game Polocrosse Saturday morning, camp draft the whole way through, then final of the Polocrosse, and then sell Sunday.
Yeah, because I've had a few queries about us not having a pre-works at this stage, and a lot of people think it's a really good place to show off your horse, and obviously if you're a purchaser, it's a good place to go and look at the horse too. But ours purely comes down to a time thing, and if we're fortunate enough to get a few teams, and we're also fortunate enough to have a few horses to sell, it's a matter of fitting them in. But a lot of your horses were put on videos and spread all through the social media and even the Barragoon page. But did you find that was enough, or do you really think a pre-works is an important part?
Yeah, I think, well, so the horses will bring to your sale, we'll have them on video. So, and we think a lot of the videos sell the horses. But yeah, I like to, as a rider, to go and put my horses through to see what they're going to do in the ring. So if there is a problem or they don't like it, you can sort of sort it out by the Sunday and make sure you're showing them off well on the Sunday. But a lot of people know you're taking young horses to sales that it's probably their first time or second time off the place, and a lot comes down to how they're going in their video, because you're really buying performance horse, not what they're doing in the ring. You've pretty much decided whether you're going to buy it before you get there, I'd reckon.
Yeah. No, well, look, I've sold horses in Dalby and Nutrien and different places, and sometimes I think the pre-work drags out and goes for days, like it can at Tamworth, with the number of horses they sell. And, the success of their sale is, second to none. So you makes yourself think, well, it isn't a waste of time, but I really up in the air about it. And if we have time, I'd like to do it, but it's a matter of, do you have you don't want someone playing why they should be showing their horse off and running into each other. You want them to have it separate. And I really hope that it comes down to us just not having enough time, because we've got too many teams and too many horses. I hope that's what happens for us.
Yeah. And I know if it's probably a horse that's either not as well commonly known bred, I like to get in there and sort of show off what it's got if it's going well, to try and obviously get a few more buyers looking at it. But I guess it comes down to that, doesn't it? And people are going to see the videos. So if you got to play polocrosse, you got to play polocrosse, and people have to watch the videos, I guess.
Has Lucy been stabbing us in the back for not having a women's competition?
I don't think she's stabbing in the back about no women's. She just wants to play in the men's. No, she's all right.
No, well, we're trying to we get out to our grounds, and hopefully in the near future we can put it all together for the women side of it and keep it separate. I think the men want to play against the men, and I think the women should play against the women. And we're lucky enough that the actual Swan Cup incentive competition we can mix it up there. But yeah, I've just started getting a little bit of grief about the women's side of it not happening this year. Yeah,
no, the girls haven't said much to me yet, but the girls do like, they got the silver stirrup, and there's a fair few other women's comps going around, so they weren't. I don't think they're up you too much yet, but I'm not too stressed. It means we're taking a few of their ponies off them, so
yeah, no, for sure. Oh, well, mate, look, I appreciate you coming on and having a yarn to us, and talking to Alex and myself, and appreciate that you're giving us the time, and you're going to come up and support our event. And I really hope we can repay you as well, and go down and support the Berrigoon sale and incentive and the camp draft side of things. And we wish you the best of luck with your event, and we hope ours goes near as good as yours.
No, thanks, mate, and thanks for having me on. And no, it was it's great stuff, and keep doing what he's doing. Just it's where the sport needs to go. So hopefully it goes well, and we'll keep growing, both of us.
Yeah. Me too, mate. Good luck.
Thanks once again, Jim. So just a reminder before we go, our event will run from the 8th to the 11th of July 2021, and our Open Men's Polocrosse and sale nominations open on the 19th of April and close on the 10th of May 2021. Jim Grills, thanks for having us on.
Cheers, mate.
So I can have a chop at you at the Inverell Swan